Hey, what is up, everybody? This is the Great Puckatini coming at you today. And what I got for you is the top 10 Arkansas Razorbacks versus the Texas A&M Aggies, the game they played this last weekend. But I'd like to start off by saying that, I'm surprised over the fans acting so mad and upset, ready to fire Sam Pittman, The way I look at it is, I hear people say, oh, we could have had a 9-win season this year. That was something we should have had or something. I'm like, 9 wins? You're looking at the same schedule I'm looking at? I mean, good grief, guys. I'm thinking 8 wins, 7, 8 wins tops. I mean, this is a really tough schedule Arkansas has. And I don't know. I'd like to take some of the stuff y'all are smoking. Because I tell you what, you go to the LSU, number 12 team in the country, and you not only have a chance to beat them, but you should have won that game. Okay, at their place, one of the hardest places to win in the nation. And then you come back against Texas A&M at Dallas, at Jerry's World, and at Cowboy Stadium, and you're right in that game too. And that's kind of one of our home games, which is crazy. There was as much or more Texas A&M fans than there were Hog fans, and that's one of our home games. I mean, come on, that people gripe about playing at War Memorial, but that's crazy right there. That should not be counted as one of our home games. But anyway, and I think it is. I could be wrong, but I think that is one of our home games. That's a tough place to go. Now, but anyway, if you look at it, the score was 20-13. And Jordan Crook comes in, makes the big hit on the running back. He fumbles it, and then true freshman Brad Spence recovers it. And on that drive there is where we throw it deep to Andrew Armstrong. KJ does. He underthrows it just a tad, and that corner barely gets his hand on it, like his pinky looked like it might hit it. And they didn't complete that pass. Imagine if we would have completed that pass right there and made it 20-20. The momentum was totally in our favor there. I think that could have changed the game. Our offense was struggling, of course. But, I watched a show on SEC, and they're talking about how good A&M's D-line is. And, man, they went back and played some of the plays they made. Man, they're really good. I mean, those guys, that D-line they have is, wow, they're good. Offense is good, too. You got Bobby Trino. Bobby Trino is a master play caller. He knows how to pick you apart. I see people, he did pick on Hudson Clark there in the slot some. But he did that last year. He picked on our third best corner, our slot receiver, when he was at Missouri State. And that's how he should have beat us last year. So he did about the same thing. It's just hard to stop. Petrino's a master play caller. He's tough. But, Arkansas had a chance, should have beat Texas A&M. I think A&M's going to turn out to battle them and LSU. I guess they will play. I don't know. They come out of the other side, I believe. But anyway, Texas A&M is a darn good football team, and we had a chance to win the stinking thing. If we complete that pass, KJ underthrew it just a little bit. If we can make it 20-20 there in the third quarter, I think that might swing it, and at least we'll be right in it to the end. You look at it, we got beat 12. Right there at the very end, they scored. A&M did. But anyway, I'm telling you guys, Arkansas is a tough schedule now. There is no gimme games. I don't know who's saying we should have won 9 games this season. Holy moly. I mean, oh my goodness. I look at it differently than y'all do, I guess. But anyway, here's my top 10 Arkansas Razorbacks versus the Texas A&M Aggies. Number 10 was safety Hudson Clark. He did get picked on some little bit, but he had a good game. He had 6 tackles. He had a pass broken up. He graded out at 65%, which is not great. That kind of shows you, we didn't play our best game, and we still had a chance to beat Texas A&M right there with them there late in the third quarter. I mean, we were in the game the whole way. Just some breaks didn't fall our way. And also that punt return. Guys, listen, I coached for 15 years, and that is the worst thing that can happen when you're playing punt defense and the returner fumbles it or it goes over his head. Because what happens is all your coverage guys, they all suck inside. They don't stay in their lanes. And everybody, like, they get lined up behind each other. And you get totally out of your lanes, and that guy hits a crease, and he's gone. That's what happened. If he would have caught the thing, I think we would have had him covered and tackled him real easily. But it went over his head. He kind of fumbled it, and we got probably, if you look at the coach video, probably got all out of our lanes, and then that was just a recipe for disaster. But anyway, all right. So let's go to number 9, outside linebacker, defensive end, John Morgan III. Also Hudson Clark's redshirt senior from Dallas, Texas. All right, number 9, outside linebacker John Morgan III, defensive end. He is from Upper Marlboro, Maryland, and he transferred in from Pittsburgh. Yeah, I'm super glad to hear he's okay. And they think he's going to play this next week, which is crazy. But John Morgan had 2 tackles. He did get a hit on the quarterback, and he had a grade of 66% overall on defense. So good job of him, and super glad he's okay. All right, next up is number 8, wide receiver Andrew Armstrong. Played a pretty good game. He's a redshirt senior from Dallas, Texas. He transferred in, I think, from Texas A&M Commerce, I believe. Could be wrong about that. He had 3 catches for 76 yards and a touchdown. Was very this close to catching 2 touchdowns. Man, so close. He graded out at 67% overall on offense. Number 7 is true freshman Brad Spence from Houston, Texas, linebacker. He had 4 tackles. He did recover that big fumble I was talking about earlier there in the third quarter that I think if Arkansas could have scored on that, it really would have turned the tide a little bit for him. He graded out at 69% overall on defense. He had a 78 grade with his tackling. So true freshman right there. Shows that they're recruiting well. All right. In at number 6 is quarterback KJ Jefferson. He's a senior from Sardis, Mississippi. He had a 70% overall grade. He was 9 of 17 for 132 yards and a touchdown. He did throw an interception, a pick 6, which I didn't like the play call really there. But anyway, and that hurt us too. Boy, that play there really hurt us. But anyway, that's the breaks. It bounced up in there and went right to the guy. I mean, my goodness. 2 bad breaks. That and that punt return for a touchdown. Wow, that's hard to overcome. All right. Trust me, I've coached for 15 years, man. That's the real world. It's just hard to overcome that. All right, number 5 is linebacker Jaheim Thomas. He's a redshirt junior from Cincinnati, Ohio. He transferred in from Cincinnati. He had 5 tackles, had a pass broken up, and he graded out 70% overall defensively. So good. He's continuing to have a good season. He was a good pickup for us. Number 4 is right guard Josh Braun. He's a redshirt junior from Live Oak, Florida. He graded out 71 overall, 81% pass blocking, and 69% run blocking. So, did a little bit better in pass blocking there. But good game by Mr. Braun. Number 3 would be defensive tackle Eric Gregory, redshirt senior from Memphis, Tennessee. Gregory had 2 tackles. He had a tackle for a loss. He had a quarterback hurry, and he graded out at 72% overall. So, good game there by Eric Gregory. Number 2, ranked number 2 here was cornerback Dwight McGlothern. He's a senior from Houston, Texas, transferred in from LSU. He had a pass breakup, he had a tackle for loss, and he had 2 tackles overall. One of them was tackle for loss. And then he graded out 81%, which is rough there too because I think he's in concussion protocol, and that hurts because you're going to play Ole Miss this coming week, and they throw the ball, and they're tough. We need him. We need him to play. Hopefully he'll be able to play. And then number 1, the player who had the best game, didn't play as many snaps as a lot of people, but he definitely made a big play when he was in there. It was linebacker Jordan Crook. He's a sophomore from Duncanville, Texas. He had the huge forced fumble on the hit there that Brad Spence recovered. I think that really could have swung the game there if we complete that pass to Armstrong, and it would have tied the game up there in the third quarter. But a huge play by Mr. Crook. He did have 5 tackles overall, which is good for the limited number of snaps he played. And then he graded out to 82%, and he did have 1 stop tackle. They may have been counting that the fumble that he forced might be that stop tackle. Remember, stop tackle is when you make a tackle and you stop them getting a first down. Maybe you make them punt or you 4th down and they turn the ball over. That's a stop tackle. Anyway, there's my top 10 Razorbacks versus when we played Texas A&M guys. And I just tell you, just hang in there with those Hogs, man. We got to lift them up. It helps recruiting when we're talking them up. These guys coming in, see how the fans back the players, and it does nobody any good just to fuss and gripe. Pittman's they're working hard, man. I tell you, if Pittman wasn't our coach, he'd be at Alabama or Georgia to be the offensive line coach, rocking and rolling. So hey, hang in there with them. I like Dan Enos too. They have to find their way. Offensive line has struggled some this year, but but like I say, the last 2 games, A&M and LSU, they're both were winnable games. We was in there. We had chances to win, and we clearly, I don't think anybody would say we played our best football yet. So hopefully this week versus Ole Miss, we'll jump on them and just let it all hang loose, you know. And I would like to see him run KJ. KJ ran about 17 times. I'd like to see him run more. We got to quit worrying about him getting hurt now. I mean, we got to go after wins. If that means he's got to carry it 20 times, excuse me, then he's got to carry it 20 times. Also, you know, the thing that bothered me was our receivers. You know, A&M was up on us. I mean, they were up, bumping, running tight on us. And we're trying to run little slants in there. It's hard to get that in there. That's when you get those tip passes and interceptions. If they're up on my receivers, up in our face, we're going deep with it. We're throwing the deep ball. We're going to throw a fade. And with those big receivers we have, they should be able to go up and catch the ball, right? I don't like throwing those little short slants in there. I don't like that, especially when you're trying to play fake it and then do it. It's just too easy to get a ball batted and then a pick six. But anyway, hey, I'm firmly behind the Arkansas Razorback coach, staff, players. I'm ready to see how they do against Ole Miss. Hope you get a big win. Keep cheering on those Razorbacks, man. Keep going to those games. Cheer them on. And all I got to say is, go Hogs.